I'm Dr. Christine Whelan, a recent bride and relationship columnist. Brides, I get it. Let's get your questions answered.
I'm Father Eric Andrews, a Paulist priest who prefers funerals to weddings. Welcome to another webisode of The Princess, the Priest, and the War for the Perfect Wedding.
Hi, my name is Raphael, and I've got a quick question. I'm getting married, and I want to have a unity candle ceremony incorporated into my wedding mass. But even though I think it's a really great way of showing my new union, the priest says that I can't do that. What is that all about?
Hi, Raphael. Thanks for the question. The idea of incorporating all sorts of personalization into a Catholic wedding mass is something that I'm hearing from a lot of couples. Some people like to do a rose ceremony where the bride takes a rose, a single rose, and brings it to the altar, the side altar, where there's a statue of Mary as a sort of a private, special moment within the ceremony. Also, there's a sand ceremony that I've seen some couples do, where each of them pours cups of sand into a bowl, symbolizing how the grains of sand all mix together, so that in that big bowl you have no idea which is the sand from the bride and which is the sand from the groom. So the unity candle can be another beautiful way to personalize the ceremony. But is it really Catholic? This I don't know.
Like sand in an hourglass. These are the days of our lives. Well, I'm wearing my Tennessee jacket today because this brings me back to many Catholic Protestant weddings that I presided over down in East Tennessee. And in a lot of those cases, it's very popular in some Protestant traditions to have the unity candle. That's where you have the two smaller candles and a couple together light them. Sometimes the parents assist in this lighting ceremony, and it's very it's very important, and it's there's a lot of emotion involved. But when it's a Catholic marriage and it's a nuptial mass, Catholics would point to the Eucharist as one of those very important and deep, meaningful symbols and signs of unity, of being in communion not only with your new spouse but also with the Lord. So some pastors will make a distinction between a nuptial mass and an interfaith marriage ceremony. And sometimes that will be the rub between whether you can or not. And some pastors will say if it's not in the ritual book, then you can't add anything to the liturgy, not even the rose to the Blessed Mother. So you really have to know your priest, and you really have to kind of talk this out, because if there's something that you really want to incorporate, it better to ask early and then see if you want to go forward with this particular presider, or maybe find it, another pastor or something. Of course, you always want to consider different cultures have different rituals, and sometimes it is expected that you take a rose to the Blessed Mother. So I think depending on where you are and the culture from which you're from, you have to respect those traditions.
I don't know. For me, what about the element of tradition? For me, it was important to know that the Catholic nuptial mass that I was marrying with was the same nuptial mass that my mother was married with, my grandmother, my great-grandmother. That had a sense of tradition and history to it that I really liked. Although I do understand that some couples, their personal preference is really to personalize and to make it an individual ceremony. So I think there's kind of a tension there between the individual aspects of commitment and the traditional aspects of family tradition.
Right, and a lot of young adults today want to have their marriage in the church, but I agree with you, do want to have their personalities come forth in what they do in the ritual. So it really takes a lot of conversation. It can all be done, but you also have to be respectful of the church's traditions as well. And I appreciate, Christine, what you're saying about that. So, this is a negotiated process. Start early. Like I said, as we said in previous episodes, schmooze the priest a little bit, and maybe if you can all come to a happy place, it is amazing the type of things that you can achieve, and everyone can be happy.
We want to hear from you. So send us your iChat video footage, or send us an email telling us about what kinds of traditions and ceremonies you've incorporated into your wedding, or what kinds of ideas you're hoping to incorporate into a future marriage.
And until then, Raphael, may the light of Christ shine on you and your bride. All the best.